So, you're thinking about moving to Ventura, whether that is to retire, maybe you took a job in town, or you simply want to enjoy the sunshine and our near perfect weather. Whatever the case may be, there are a lot of things online that are both true and false, and you may be left wondering where you should live, what neighborhoods are going to fit your budget, and what neighborhoods are going to provide the type of lifestyle that you want to live. So, in today's video, I'm going to try to answer some of the top questions that I get from buyers relocating to Ventura and try to create this kind of ultimate guide for moving to and living in Ventura. Okay, so the number one question that I get is, where should I live in Ventura? What are the best neighborhoods? And that is so subjective. It is really going to come down to your lifestyle. Do you want to be near the beach? Are you looking for a single family home in the Pierpont lanes? Or is a condo on the promenade more your speed? Maybe you want to be in Midtown in a charming single-story Spanish-style bungalow and be able to walk to Simone's Coffee or Corrales Mexican food. There's a lot to think through here. But let's start with affordability. The median sales price for a single family home in the city of Ventura is $925,000. And this is across all 9 districts or major neighborhoods in Ventura. The 9 are the East End, which is where I live, Montalvo, the College area, the Hillsides, Midtown, Downtown, the Avenue, Pierpont, and the Keys. For sake of argument, we're going to say that all homes priced below the median of $925,000 are considered affordable. And I've broken down by district how many homes are available for sale that are considered affordable to better identify and understand what parts of town are considered affordable. On the East End, there are 10 homes available for sale under $925,000. In Montalvo, there are 4 homes available for sale under $925,000. In the College area and in Midtown, that number is also 4. And finally, off of the Avenue, there are 6 homes available for sale under $925,000. Now, there are a total of 88 single-family homes across all 9 districts or major neighborhoods in Ventura, with a total of 28 priced below the median price of $925,000. That's approximately 30% of the available inventory. And if you're looking for a more affluent neighborhood, you just simply reverse that process and look where the homes are priced over the median. Neighborhoods like the Hillsides, where you can find homes with spectacular panoramic ocean and island views, or Pierpont and the Keys if a beach home or a dock home are more your speed. In these more affluent neighborhoods, you can still find homes that were built in the 1930s and 1940s, and you can also find homes that are new and newer construction, rebuilt after the Thomas Fire. These rebuilds have more modern floor plans, amenities, and finishes. Another consideration is if a given neighborhood has a high percentage of Airbnbs. Well, lucky for you, the city of Ventura publishes a full list of all registered short-term vacation rentals, or STVRs as they're referred to here in the city. So you can easily access that data yourself, but generally speaking, you'll see most short-term vacation rentals clustered in the Keys, Pierpont, the Avenue, and in Midtown. That's not to say you can't find them in other parts of town, but generally speaking, they're going to be much less common. Go to cityofventura.ca.gov and search for the list of STVRs for more information. I'll also put a link to that down below in the description. To recap so far, it really comes down to your lifestyle. Where are you going to work, and what will your commute look like if you're not already working from home or retired? And then, what do you like to do outside of work? Are you someone that likes to take daily walks on the beach? Maybe you want to be in a more quiet, out-of-the-way part of town, away from the tourists and visitors that we see during peak season. And if you reach out, I can definitely help you dial that in, but it's just something to think about when you're considering moving to Ventura. Another common question that I get is, can I buy a home in Ventura without a homeowners association? Of the 88 single-family homes available for sale, only 6 of them have HOAs. HOAs are not super common in Ventura, and this is because most of our housing stock was built between the 1920s and the 1980s, well before HOAs started to soar in popularity. So if you're anti-HOA, you are in luck. One thing to note on this topic though, if you were shopping for a single family home in a new construction community, Del Sol by Shea Homes over on the East End where I live is a great example of this. Expect an HOA. The same goes for every single one of the new construction townhome and condo style communities currently being built here in Ventura. and those are far more common than the single family communities anyways. The monthly HOA payments can range from $200 to $700 per month. That monthly fee can include things like trash, water, sewer, maintenance, insurance, and the occasional pool or clubhouse. The rule of thumb is the more amenities and costs that are included in that fee, the higher your monthly fee is going to be. Now, some of these places have higher than average insurance costs, and you start looking online and wondering why this particular HOA has a monthly payment of $800 when I don't get that much in return. And that is exactly what I'm here to help you dial in and figure out. What's the actual HOA costs, and what is the financial viability of this homeowners association? Those are the little things you need to think through when considering buying a home in a homeowners association. Another common question I get is, should I go new construction or resale? Up until the last few years, new construction has been a rarity. We have a local ordinance in place preserving our open spaces and agricultural lands, preventing new development. But a recent change at the state level has mandated new housing units for every city in California. And this has spurred the construction of mostly townhome and condo style communities across the city of Ventura. And as we just said, most of those new communities will come with an HOA payment. They also tend to have much smaller yards and significantly less outdoor space than resale homes. So it is up to you to decide. Do you want something that is shiny and brand new, where you're less likely to have to worry about the roof or the windows in the first several years of owning the home? Or is a resale home with more outdoor space, a larger yard, and no HOA payment a better fit for your lifestyle? By the way, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Ventura or the surrounding cities, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. Head over to my website, grantleichtfuss.com, to check out client testimonials and my past sales portfolio. Homeowners insurance. This is something that I hear about all the time, and people moving to the city of Ventura really want to understand the costs and the risks associated with buying a home in a town that has a history with wildfires. You may have seen the headlines over the last 18 months of several major national insurance carriers leaving the state of California. The quick 30,000 foot view of why this is happening is because the insurance business in California is highly regulated, preventing the insurance companies from raising their rates to keep up with the higher risks and costs associated with a major wildfire or other catastrophe. And because the insurance companies are prevented from raising their rates to keep up with inflated costs, they've decided to stop insuring in the state of California altogether. This has resulted in very few carriers still insuring in California, higher costs, and depending on a home's location, leaving California Fair Plan as the only option for fire insurance. California Fair Plan is often mistaken as a state-funded plan of last resort. It was founded back in the 1960s as a plan of last resort, but it is not funded by the state of California. In fact, it's funded by the insurance companies. And while originally designed to cover 20 to 30,000 homes across the state, it is currently providing coverage for over 300,000 properties, with major concerns that in the event of a catastrophe, there won't be enough money to pay out claims. But there is still hope. You can find what are referred to as surplus carriers still willing to write policies in California. These are simply companies operating outside of the state of California and its regulations, meaning they can charge more than in-state companies, allowing you to secure coverage for your property. I'll drop a link in the description to the CAL FIRE website, which has an interactive map showing areas considered to be high and very high fire severity zones. Homes located within these zones are typically the ones having to choose between California Fair Plan and the surplus carriers for their fire coverage. Let's talk about jobs. While we have plenty of hospitality and tourism-based opportunities, we tend to be short on higher paying white-collar jobs. This shortage of higher paying salaried positions has meant that Ventura residents often have to commute outside of the city to get to work. Now, opportunities do exist locally. The first one that comes to mind is Patagonia. Yes, that Patagonia, the world famous clothing brand, was founded and is still headquartered here in Ventura. The Trade Desk, an international digital marketing firm, was also founded and is still headquartered in Ventura. Other major employers just outside of the city are the Port of Hueneme, Naval Base Ventura County, and Naval Air Station Point Mugu. California State University Channel Islands, as well as numerous celery, strawberry, and citrus processors are also located nearby. That being said, our wages are generally lower than the Bay Area, Los Angeles, or some of these other cities that people are moving from. And that's kind of the trade-off, because our median price of homes is definitely lower than those other areas. All right, let's talk walkability. That is definitely something that is on a lot of people's minds. Our weather is great year-round, and the people moving here want to be able to take advantage of that in a walkable neighborhood. It's no secret that California at large, as well as certain parts of our community here in Ventura, are very car dependent. So if you want to be able to walk right out your front door to a coffee shop or a hair salon, Midtown is probably your best bet. Pierpont and downtown are also great options, but they're more highly trafficked by tourists and visitors. One part of town that is incredibly car dependent is the East End, which is where I live and I'm raising my family. And honestly, if you were to ask my wife or I what the biggest negative of living on the East End is, it's probably that. It's that we have to jump in our car to get literally anywhere. I want to be clear that there are many great things about living on the East End, but walkability certainly is not one of them. So what are the good schools and what are the bad schools? I actually cannot talk about that. As a licensed real estate agent, there are laws preventing me from discussing this topic. But what I can say is we have a healthy mix of both public and private options here in Ventura. And if you're curious, you can head over to greatschools.org to find out a specific school's rating. I can also tell you that the Ventura Unified School District has a program called Schools of Choice. It's essentially a lottery that, if selected, allows a parent to move their child to a school outside of their residential boundary. While it is a lottery and it's not guaranteed, I can tell you that here in Ventura, we have declining enrollment. More on that in just a moment. And for the majority of parents that choose the Schools of Choice route, they're able to get their kids into pretty much any school that they want to. As the cost of living in our area continues to rise, many families are choosing to move out of state, leaving our schools with declining enrollment. Luckily, it hasn't impacted the quality of our schools, but it is something that the City Council is actively working towards reversing. What is there to do in Ventura? Obviously, we're a beach town and we have several famous surf breaks. My wife and I try to take our boys to the beach at least once a week, and if we need to change of scenery, we just zip up the coast to Santa Barbara or even down to Malibu. We have so much more than our beaches though. We have world-class hiking trails littered throughout our hillsides. Ventura is considered to be the gateway to the Channel Islands National Park, where you can day trip, camp overnight, hike, kayak, or just simply explore. The Santa Barbara Bowl attracts major talent from across the US, both for entertainment and LAX if you're trying to get out of town for a vacation. Ventura hosts a number of events throughout the year, including our best-in-class county fair, the surf rodeo, the world's largest cornhole tournament, and so much more. Trust me, between our natural resources, local events, and neighbors like Carpinteria and Ojai, you are never going to get bored. Let's talk about the weather. With more than 270 days of sunshine throughout the year, you better get used to applying your sunscreen. Our moderate Mediterranean-style climate is one of the best in California and the country. We have relatively low humidity, a regular onshore breeze across the ocean, and average summer temps in the low 70s. Winter can get cold for us, with overnight lows in the 50s, but average daytime temps during the winter are 65 degrees. Obviously, I'm a huge fan, and this fantastic weather allows us to enjoy the great outdoors year-round. Now, one thing newcomers have to get used to is that once the sun goes down, and this is true pretty much year-round, you have to add an additional layer. I'm not talking about a thick winter coat, but keeping a windbreaker or a light pullover sweater in the trunk of your car is very commonplace. One other thing to note is that the other 90 or so days without sunshine typically happen during the spring. This is when a local weather phenomenon referred to as May gray or June gloom takes hold, and we can go days or even a week at a time without seeing the sun. But this is a small price to pay for what is otherwise near perfect year-round weather. So that is our guide to moving to Ventura. I'd love to know down below in the comments, what is one thing that you learned from this video? And if you haven't already subscribed, I'm putting out videos every week about living in and moving to the city of Ventura. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next video.